Travel is that one thing that you buy but still be richer. Richer how? Well, richer is because you get your time of leisure and you get to enjoy your vacation. Who doesn't love to travel? I love to travel myself because travel is that one thing that you can go to a different place, enjoy, stay with your friends or family and come back with a happy face. Sometimes not all trips go in a happier way, but you never know what life has in store for you. Well, I'm Varsha and welcome to the Freedom Business English channel. I'm going to tell you why travel insurance is important for you. Do not forget to subscribe and download our Freedom app to know more details about what is important for you in regards of personal finance. Just like health insurance and all the other insurance you have, travel insurance is one of the important ones too. Well, we all fail to notice this because we're all in that enthusiastic mood to go for a trip. I will not blame you for this, but also make sure that next time you're traveling, you have a travel insurance. Why travel insurance is important? Well, you know that you might have a couple of uncertainties hitting on your trip. This is not a well-wishing thing, but I would request you to notice and think about the points I say and why this particular insurance is important. First thing is that you never know what type of accidents might occur on a particular trip or some destination that you're going to. You might also not realize how ill you might fall depending on the weather or something that is not suitable for your particular base there. And there might be causes of flight delay or cancellation of flights at the last moment. You never know how these things might just pop up in your life even when you did not expect. Well, I suggest you to take note of this because travel insurance is going to back you up in all these situations. I'm going to start off by telling 7 important things that you should know before buying a travel insurance. First being, not for everyone. Well, only few people know what travel insurance is and how helpful it is. Not everyone knows about it, but it depends on you if you are ready to take the financial risk as well as the trip risk that you are provided with. There might be certain things that you have to overcome when it comes to a trip. So, travel insurance reduces the financial risk that you're taking and minimizes the cost which you're already putting towards the trip. But you should know that if you are ready to take that money risk, how much is your budget and what is the cost of your trip that you are ready to afford? Well, as I told, if there are some emergencies that you have to attend to and you can't go on a trip, know how much can come back so that you can realize that you're getting at least half of the money repaid to you. When you buy a travel insurance, you can think, should I go in an airfare which is like half the rate, or should I completely pay for this so-and-so price because this is a one-time life offer? Every mindset of this depends on you, the way you structure the budget for the entire trip. And next, before you offer yourself for a complete vacation, you have to know that how much of a peace of mind person you are and how much you're ready to rely on the entire trip. If you think that you need a vacation, make sure that you always are safeguarded with a proper insurance. Second is different types of travel insurance. Well, you should know that what type of travel insurance are you going towards. Different companies might have different offers for you on their plate. But make sure that you are choosing wisely depending on your budget and what are the precautions that you need to take. Make sure that you're completely aware of what you're going for and make sure you do a quiet research about all of these. So I'm going to tell you a couple of policies that you have to look forward before buying a travel insurance. First being your trip cancellation reason. Well, half of the policies that you go for when it comes to a travel agency is that they give you policies regarding cancellations. You just have to make sure that you go through the policies correctly because they have certain reasons listed in their policy that you have to make sure it's one of them when you cancel. If those are the reasons that have been listed in the papers they give you and you have cancelled based on that, they might only consider that time. By the way, when they started in the time of pandemic, COVID-19 wasn't one of the reasons that a couple of insurance companies did not have in their policy sheets. So make sure you look wise and research about what you're investing into. Next one is trip coverage policy. Well, this one kicks in when you know that something happened in between your vacation and you had to leave there for a halfway, and this can be refunded in a lot of places. A lot of companies agree to refund you when you have an emergency that you happen to go to the trip but could not complete the trip due to uncertainties that came by your way. There might be something like accidents, there might be some emergency that you have to leave your flight and go back home, or midway when you're already in a trip that you have to head back home. These might be refunded because majority of the companies take this into consideration. They also remind you that they will be refunding you the rest of the trip that you couldn't enjoy. Most of the travel insurance also have this best policy that is so useful for all of us latecomers, because they are going to make sure that delay in the flight or delay in anything that you're traveling through is refunded, because most of us are not on time because of certain reasons. Not that we want to be late to the particular trip or want to be late to a particular travel destination, but sometimes you just don't know how delayed you are. This can be refunded by the entire insurance policy. About like 90% of insurance companies have been relating to this issue, and they're quite good when it comes to refunding when you're delayed. Moving to the second sector of delay, this might be caused due to the flight, or you might be stuck in an airport for like 12 or 18 hours. This can also be taken into consideration, and they might help you get back the refunded amount that you have paid for your particular ride. Next is reimbursement. Well, this is one of the policies which comes under the second one I told. Well, because this is one of the policy everyone follows. Usually, if there's a medical emergency that has occurred all of a sudden, they might not charge you for your medical issues. They might directly pay you for those issues because you have paid for the insurance in the starting of it. So there are some companies which I can also not say it's complimentary, but they will provide you with a great service. Next is that annual policy. So if you're a person who keeps traveling like a lot in a year, then this policy is for you. This policy actually makes sure that you will get the entire money repaid in case there is some emergency, in case you weren't able to complete the entire trip. This policy is also great when you're going for a trips very often. But this would only make sense if you traveled a bit more than usual. Third one is the price. Well, travel insurance almost covers from 5 to 12% of the insured all over the trip. So this usually depends on the insured age. Well, if your age is over 50 years, you might have a lot of other consideration to be taken, and they will provide a return consideration depending on that as well. So children who are less than 17 years might go ahead for free or a couple of discounts depending on the adults they're traveling with. So travel insurance varies from one company to another, so don't always make a choice rationally. Depend upon your mind and do some research. Do not just get into the scam where your airlines or your cruise is like pushing you towards it. Make sure your travel agent is also helping you and guiding you towards the right direction. Fourth one is, when can you buy travel insurance? Well, a lot of people are confused at this particular question. I'm going to tell you when you should be buying. When is an apt time to go ahead and buy a travel insurance? First thing is that a couple of people might push you while you're buying a train ticket or a flight ticket or a cruise ticket. Well, that is not the time when you go buy. You make sure that you buy your travel insurance a couple days before only and know the exact policies, because you have right time to research and learn and shop for the right company. And also, it's not that great when you have a delay in flight or a cancel and then realize that you should have bought the insurance while ago. You should have bought it at least a month ago. The regret that you have after cancellation, or when you realize that you're not getting half the money or not even a rupee back, that's when you realize that the entire trip you planned for is a waste. These companies also have a couple of policies, but few of them are very adamant when it comes to their policies depending upon the days. Some might be 7 days, some might be 14 days, or some might be 21 days, for example. You have to buy within those days just to make sure your trip has a backup. Fifth is the medical coverages. Well, this is one of the main points that you will have to focus, but then I'm going to tell you a little more in detail when it comes to this. I'm going to tell you about medical policies that you read and recover are so important, but when you already have a medical insurance which is already there called as health insurance, I don't think so that you have to focus on this side of medical policy. Sometimes these medical insurance cover up the damage that has been caused due to the trip. Read through the policies and make sure you've listened and asked a couple of people about how this works. And also make sure and ask the travel agent that if you have to afford even more for the health, just so that you don't double pay it every single time you travel. And when I say that you have to do a couple of research when it comes to medical insurance, is just that you have to focus and see the policies for what you're investing. Make sure that you know in detail that how much you have to pay. Sometimes the insurance company might scam you by telling that you are paying for the network rate, and that might be a little more expensive than the casual medical expenses. And also, when I tell you about this particular policy, as I mentioned before, if you're going to some place which you're not sure of with a perfect safety, or you're finding it a little sketchy, emergency airlift services which are allowed, and you can immediately evacuate from that place. And also make sure that you have taken a place where you can get a civilized hospitalization, just so that you can reach that place in the given emergency time. I'm going to give you an example why I say that medical is one of the most important policies that you have to look forward for. For example, if you're heading towards the Himalayas and you happen to meet with an immediate accident or some emergency occurs on the mountaintop, that is when you need a helicopter as well as an airplane to make sure that you have landed safe in a civilized hospital. This might get as expensive as you think it might. Sixth one is the credit cards. Well, if you ask me that do you need a travel insurance when you already have a credit card with a lot of benefits, I suggest yes, only because I'm not saying that this might do good to you, but this does wonders to you if you have a premium card. Some cards have great option of offers, but not every travel insurance can give you that. But sometimes not everyone can afford a credit card, so travel insurance can be a great option if you're thinking of it. Credit card can act as a substitute for travel insurances because it depends on certain banks. It can give you a lot of options depending on the airways you're taking or the train you're taking. But it cannot always refund you the way you expect. So travel insurance is one of the added advantages for people who don't have a clear-cut idea about credit cards. Do not waste or invest when you don't know properly about the credit card and the way it works. Seventh and the last question, which I have saved the best for the end, is that yes, you do need a travel insurance because not every day is a Sunday. Sometimes this can save up coins for you, but then sometimes you can even lose the coins. Buying travel insurance might be a great idea because travel insurance helps you get back your money. We never know what can happen in a particular trip, and we do not even expect that to happen. But I know a lot of them who have lost money and have been robbed in a particular place that they had to stay there for a couple of days until and unless they had to get their entire money back. I suggest the travel insurance is great because sometimes you might not expect robbery or theft to be happening with you. But when these happen, travel insurance will provide you with a recovery for all of these. This can come in handy when you know that you have expected something that you weren't seeing through, but still it did happen. This is not something that we have to think twice about when you know that you're going with a new crowd or you're going with only friends, parents and everyone. Most of the insurance companies also have these policies such as alcohol addiction as well as medical issues such as depression, anxiety and travel issues, radiation, nuclear weapon inducted losses and sports activity. These are the couple of policies that they might back you up with few of their requirements or their things that they do not include. The company that you decide will tell you anything regarding of these that you should keep in mind. So make sure that you consider these things as well. So if you like this video, do not forget to like, share and subscribe. And also if you found this entire thing helpful, do not forget to comment. And if you also have a couple of things that we should know, also comment and let us know about it. Thank you so much, and do not forget to download our Freedom app, which can provide you with vast more information regarding all of this.